What's happening, everybody? Welcome. Well, that was like the loudest hey-o. I saw my audio clip. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today, I told you we're going to do it. We're going to compare how good did Squier do? You know, how good did they do this? So if you haven't seen it yet, I know you're probably tired of hearing me blab about it. But we are actually giving this here fine fiddle away. This is a 60s classic vibe Squier, and it's so good, you know? I kind of can't say enough good stuff about it. But what I thought would be, you know, nice to do a comparison of how well does it compare to the real thing. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, this is my absolute dream guitar. This is my 63 Strat, and this is a classic vibe 60. Now they got a lot of stuff right, but it's not a true to spec 60s guitar. So we're going to compare these, some different amps, different tones. I'll tell you what amp I'm using for each section. And we'll talk a little bit here, and if you want to jump ahead to the playing, I'll put it in the bottom of the corner of the screen. Yep. Also, if you want to check out this guitar on Sweetwater and Tillman and all that stuff, it's linked down below. Those links will be affiliate links, which is how we fund these giveaways. So there you go. Alright, let me do some yakking at you here for a second. Now, like I said, they did a lot of stuff right on this. Obviously, the color. Now, I saw a few people mention it. Why do you think I like this color Strat so much? Let's think about it. Who played... I'm not sure if this was a 64 or 65, but who played a Lake Placid Blue Strat? Of course, Jimmy Page did. On Presents, probably my favorite Zeppelin album. So a lot of that stuff off that Presents album was all this. You know what? I just realized these are pearl dots. Huh. They just said dots in there. But like I said, this is meant to be a very 60s inspired guitar. Now, what's different about it? Well, there's plenty of things. It does have a vintage style 6-screw saddles, the 6-screw tremolo system, just like mine. I never put the whammy bar in that one, and I can't actually use mine. It's just on here because why not? And then, of course, the single coil pickups, they do sound a little bit different. You're going to hear those here in a second. The neck shape, they really did a great job of nailing the neck shape. You know, the 60s have a very particular shape to them. My 60s is a little bit fatter than this one. But overall, the vibe, every time I say that, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, doo-doo-ch, because it's a classic vibe. The vibe of it is that 60s profile. Now, obviously, the difference between nowadays and back in the day when they were making these guitars is that every neck was not the same. You know, now there's much more machining involved, and they can basically replicate this exact neck every single time. When you get an old guitar, they vary. Now, the color of like the lacquer and all that stuff, I love it. I love how good of a job they did just with the looks of it. They kind of got the tuners right. I mean, it's the overall general aesthetic of these classic Clousons. They're not single line or anything like that, but it's still there. Like I did say, it does have a 5-way switch. Mine has a 3-way switch. These pots are not as responsive, I've found, as to my my Strat. But overall, you know, it's so good. I'm actually gonna give you guys a blindfold test too, and all this stuff, and see how you do with it. So there you have it. Like I said, the woods are completely different. They both have a maple neck, of course, with the rosewood board. They don't have with a skunk stripe, and this one is actually thicker. Is it thicker? Yeah, it looks like almost like a slab. It's not as thick as a slab, not as thin as the veneer and stuff that's on here, but very similar. Obviously, ash body on mine, which is a little bit unusual for the 63, and this is natto, and this is not rosewood. This is Indian laurel. So some differences. Obviously, this is a polyurethane finish, and mine is done in all nitro. And we're just going to kind of roll with it. So let's hear this dang thing. I've talked enough, right? Alright, here we go. And one thing I forgot to throw in here is that this guitar actually has 9-gauge strings on it, while my normal Strat has 10s, because I typically play at a half step down, but I tuned it up to standard for this. So that could be a a discrepancy and stuff if that is your thing. I think that the 9s give the notes a little bit more snap, so we'll see. Alright, so the first test, I'm actually running into the orange right now. I have a lot of reverb. I'm going to give you guys a clean tone. I'll chill out the reverb a little bit here a little bit later. This is just this position 4. This is one of my favorite tones. You know, I love my 63 here. Just has this warm, gooey sound to it, even in position 4, which is what I like. I always say these pickups are magic, and I think this is just part of the magic sound of this guitar. The pickups, the age, you can't replicate it. So here's this one, and then I'll play similar to what I played in the intro on that one. Marshall bridge pickup power. Now, like I said, something that they did that was so right on this guitar, which is actually, it's one of the few kind of like non-original mods that I did to my Strat, is that I have my tone knob down here. It's wired to my middle pickup as well, but it's also wired to my bridge pickup. Like I said in the last one, if you don't have a Strat with a dedicated tone knob to your bridge pickup, oof, you are missing out. That's the secret to me to making the Strat the ultimate weapon. So here it is through the Marshall. Give you some rhythm tones, a little bit of a riff-a-rooney. I've been getting hit with copyright stuff, so I'm not playing anyone else's riffs today. I'm just gonna improv stuff. But here we go. On to the next. Now for this one, I'm running into the Friedman. It's set to clean. One thing I forgot to mention, I'll try to remember to record a little clip to throw into the front here at the end, is that this guitar, the Squier, has 9-gauge strings on it, and this has 10. So I think the 9s are giving it a little bit extra snap to the note. So it's interesting to hear them back to back like this. So it's kind of funny. Maybe not the most fair comparison, but anyways, clean sound. Still got a little bit of reverb on there, and I like to call this one avoiding that copyright level 2.0. Alright, now for some lead tones, I'll just noodle around a little bit. I'm running into the rev now, so it's a little bit of a higher gain setting. I have the delay turned on, bridge pickup, and I have the tones rolled all the way up now. So here you go. held up? Do you think that it was in the same ranking? Do you think it sounded better? I think this one had more snap to it. I think those 9-gauge strings were given a little bit more clarity and stuff like that. Like I said, I typically play this one a half step down, and I tuned it up to standard for this. But overall, I like the warmth of this one, and just the way the guitar shakes and vibrates. You know, another thing I forgot to mention is, of course, this has new frets on it. Still vintage style frets, but these frets are so worn out. I need new frets on this guitar so bad. So I think once I get new frets on it, it's gonna take it to a whole nother level as well. But this is still, it's my dream guitar at the end of the day. So I love it so much. But yeah, other than that, guys, let me know what you thought. Did you think it held up pretty well? Do you think it even sounded better? Who knows? You know, like I said, different amps, different tones, different players, all that good stuff. Like I said, if you do want to win this guitar, super simple. I'll link it all over the place. And other than that, yo, I'm gonna bounce on out of here, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Whoop!